launch, which was very unfortunate. But now, Konami has worked to fix a lot of the issues, and you're getting three of the most iconic video games of all time: Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake Eater, in my opinion, is the best. Metal Gear Solid 1 is great, but it's a PS1 game. They really should consider remaking that after Snake Eater. But, after PS1 game, it shows its age. FGS2, I've said it before, is my least favorite of these three, but it's still a really solid game. And I'm not trying to say that as a slight to the game. I said that once, and there was one comment that, completely had a meltdown on me over saying that FGS2 wasn't, it's not like it's a bad game, it's just my least favorite of the three, but still a really, really good game. And obviously with Snake Eater, they are remaking Snake Eater from the ground up in Delta Snake Eater, and that'll be great, hopefully out in 2025. But yeah, $20 is a ton of budget after all of the fixes and updates. Like $60 from the game was already a fairly expensive price point, but given that it's like franchise of all time, and we desperately needed these games preserved on modern platforms, because God knows we can't get backwards compatibility, and the HD collection isn't available. The collection that had MGS2, 3, and Peace Walker, we can't access that. So the Master Collection is just shot to go, but there's a lot of big stuff. Now you're also getting it at a third of the initial cost. It also noted that they're taking their time with Master Collection Volume 2 because Master Collection Volume 1 wasn't turning out oh so well in terms of, the issues with it. And I feel like those are issues that should have been released of the game. There wasn't the game. Great price. And again,
don't let up! How can we win? Target is blocking my attack. He's damaged! Keep on him! Get the target! We killed a Jedi!
You can go to a site like Green Bin Gaming or a Games Planet or all these other key sellers and verified key sellers and buy your keys that way and get the discount. At PlayStation, it's all in-house in that ecosystem, and it's up to the publisher, and they can dictate whatever price that they want. So just something to consider, but a great deal nonetheless, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on it, and $20 to me seems like a great price, but just wanted to do this as a quick video because I know this is a price that has been coming in and out, but whenever it's available, it's only available for a short period of time. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will leave a link to where you can buy this yourself. It is Amazon affiliated.
You're too quick.
As always, thank you for watching.
Please don't hurt me.
This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all.
Just wait for me. I'm gonna try. He's going down. Looks like he's weak. Are you sure he's dead? He's dead. Okay. Fire at will. No retreating. Stay on him. I've got him.
Stakes are higher. Suicide mission. The possibility that any of your choices will lead to situations. first Mass Effect players should better game. You make a mistake on this game and just realize how great Mass Effect really is. I prefer reading in all its stunning. Judging by how much people are enjoying the experience, fingers crossed. I wish that Rockstar.
Seer, there's a transport ship leaving the Empire's base.
I heard. They plan to bring several artifacts to Coruscant.
What does that mean?
That the Emperor is in possession? Maybe.
But it took out a trooper.
Quests, exploring new areas, finding new items, or just grinding to get better. The story is not really shown. It's nothing black and white, and it's
Are we even still here? There's nothing on this planet. Maybe there's some historic artifacts or something. I mean, we are digging. Who cares about rocks and pottery anyway? Obviously the Empire does, else we wouldn't be here. Shut up.
It's not just about hacking and slashing. You've got to think about how to approach each fight, especially against the tougher monsters. Speaking of which, the monster contracts are some of the best parts of the game.
Everything okay, BD1? Glad to hear.
Also, we can never forget about the DLCs. One of my favorite DLCs ever. I love how beautiful everything is. It all felt so captivating. Colors, royal set, both expansions, they add so much more to the world of Geralt's story. Characters, new location, and more of those top choices. It's no doubt that Red Dead is one of those games that deserves to be called the greatest treasure. It's crazy how you can spend several hours just wandering around the map. There's a lot of stuff to do besides the main story. You can travel to various places, visit different towns, animals, or other gangsters, roll through the whole side of the game for insanely hard hours. I know many players who are spending it story. It's hard to describe what Red Dead is. Rockstar game. For that, it's fascinating how the story unfolds at a slow pace. Character and his struggles with loyalty, survival, and redemption. Something much more personal. The gang you're a part of feels like a family, and you really get to know each member through interactions, side missions, and before you hear the events of the main story. And the emotional punch of it, the
way the game explores themes of mortality, hits hard by the end. It's a long game, but one that rewards patience and attention to detail. The environment is packed with small, interactive moments that make it feel like a living, breathing world. When you finish, it feels like you've been on a journey, not just played a game.
I see you. I'll break your guard. You won't get me.
As a gamer, it blew me away how open and
You
vast
seem happy.
You can literally find anything anywhere and you can look wherever. Every aspect of this game is perfect, whether it's the satisfying combat, the ratings, gameplay, or just the environment.
Okay. I can't get anymore. I can get him. Don't let up. I'll back up. Aim and fire. Oh, great.
Everything okay, BD1? Glad to hear.
Art style, the soundtrack, the little details, it all just clicks in a way that makes you want to stay and play forever. Also, I don't think I can say anything about how iconic the game is. It'd be a crime not to own The Legend of Zelda. The sheer popularity and being the most iconic Nintendo game has almost been the game. That it's not like I was down from the start. It takes time and a couple of tries to learn from software games. Dark Souls series has been the iconic title. Elden Ring was also there, but before that, Dark Souls was the only game I've ever seen that on software. The series is super engaging. You will die hundreds of times in each part, but that's nothing if the game is designed in a way that forces you to get better and try again in a certain area, or kill a specific place. It's one of the games that both frustrating and rewarding equal measure. At first, it feels like the game hates you, but the more you play and record your progress, you start to realize why people go crazy over the game. It has a mix of linear and open world elements, gameplay or the areas that are interactive, and you visit different places. The game is praised for its boss battles. You go in thinking you have no chance, but after most of the time, you learn to get better, adjusting your strategy. That victory feels like the best thing ever. Every fight matters, and every inch of progress feels good. It's not a game for everyone, but if you stick with it, Dark Souls teaches you patience and how to handle defeat in a way that few other games do. God of War 2018. God of War 2018 is one of the best God of War games. There's so many updated story, gameplay, and characters. Sure, the game is not the traditional God of War 3 style, but that's the beauty of it. You get to experience something different. The way the entire game feels like a movie might be a turn off for some players because they just want to cheese through enemies as the awesome goats of Sparta, but for some players it will be a nice change of pace to experience the game in your story fashion. And there's plenty of it. However, besides that, this time you also have a lot of other things such as bonding, teaching, strategizing, planning. 2018 Ragnarok feels like a full-fledged God of War game.
Still back there?
Still back there? The shift to a more grounded, over-the-shoulder combat feels intense and personal, like you're right in the thick of it with Kratos, Speaking of combat, it was such an iconic moment to pick up the Chaos Blades once again. All that nostalgia was based at your face. You throw in the Leviathan axe and the falling it never gets old, and the game really lets you mix up combos with Atreus' support. The way they reinvented Kratos' set, giving him more depth and strategy, was a stroke of genius. Sense of mystery is wild. There's so much more than you see after hours of skipping these things. It's like you're constantly trying to figure out this cryptic, beautiful world, and every discovery feels like you're cracking open a secret. Feels familiar but also evolved. You have that satisfying weight in every hit, but there's more freedom in your builds. Often the magic outcomes go for it. Further dodging might be the game was brutal, but when you finally beat a boss after dozens of tries, that rush of adrenaline makes all the frustration worth it. Some of these bosses are just pure insanity, and monsters you feel like an apex. So you slowly learn their patterns, their weaknesses, and eventually become something better. Elden Ring rewards you in ways that few games can. It's a masterpiece, but it will test every bit of your skill and willpower to get there. If you feel as if the game is too hard, you can always rely on getting better, and if you don't want to feel bad, there are a lot of cheats to make this pretty overpowered build.
Getting out of here alive, Jedi.
Walk all you want. I only need a few hits.
Yakuza 0 is one of those games that really
I'm watching you.
play as two characters, Kiryu and Majima. Both have these deep space abilities and revenge, but what really stands out is how the game mixes this series, almost cinematic moments of pure absurdity. And the whole Yakuza series is great, but I am mentioning Yakuza 0 because it's the most iconic one, and playing as characters as part of Yakuza the game. One minute you're throwing punches and shooting through tunnels, next you're running a cabaret club or getting involved in the most bizarre side quests. Combat is what I mean. Having different fighting styles once you master those skills, it just feels so satisfying. Side actions are a wild change of pace and give the game so much variety. The story is definitely a standout, but it's the side content that makes Yakuza 0 something special. It's both hilarious and heartfelt, and it manages to balance the two perfectly. It's definitely a must-play game. Skyrim is one of those games that just sucks you in right from the start. You're dropped into this massive open world where you can literally go anywhere and do anything. The freedom is insane, but you stick with the main quest. Let's not forget the dragons. The first time you take one down,
I've got visual contact down there! On target! Really?
RPG after some players say that the game is like overdeveloped, but it's not a big deal. It was you surely add balance to an awesome experience. The reason why Skyrim is a must-own game is because it's more of a godfather of modern RPG games. It's got all sorts of open world content, which means they can get more. Any player can use it. Sometimes you have an awesome sword while sometimes you've got a fast-paced gun. The important stuff is that your main job is just to move forward by killing enemies in style. And that's when EMC comes in. The series will feel like you're home with your instant catchy dialogue, awesome punchlines, and fast-paced, intense combat. There are also some pretty great cutscenes that will keep you hooked. The reason Pit Part is the best one is because of how well made it really is. The characters are refined in an amazing manner, and we also get to play all the major EMC protagonists. The game lets you play certain missions with Nero, Dante, so you're pretty much completing missions in a variety of sets and different cutscenes. This way you won't get bored and will have an amazing blast experience with different playstyles. Not gonna lie, no matter what the developers did or will do in the future DMC game, I will always love to play as Dante. For me, the Devil May Cry without mentioning the charm and awesomeness of Dante. He's the one holding the series together. Huge arsenal of weapons, Michael Jackson dance, catchy punchlines, you can't help but admire the guy. Finally, I think just for the sake of the hack-and-slash genre, you should definitely do the DMC series. Uncharted 4 is an absolute blast from start to finish, man. It's like being part of a huge summer blockbuster movie, but you're the one in control. The story is probably the best in the series. It dives deep into Nathan Drake's past and relationships, especially with his brother Sam, which adds so much more emotional weight to everything. It's not just about finding treasure anymore, it's about family, loyalty, and dealing with the consequences of Nate's acts. Briefly talk about the basic features, then the graphics are top tier and the attention to detail is insane, whether it's the environments, the facial animations, or even the little things like how your clothes get wet or dirty as you explore. You will be surprised how stunning the game really is. The wide variety of environments makes the game engaging as you meet stuff as a random development. Uncharted 4 takes you on a journey across different places such as islands, jungles, ruins, mansions. All this makes the overall experience quite fun, and it won't feel Now, let's talk about another fan-favorite aspect of the game, gameplay. You've still got those classic Uncharted action moments, big shootouts, crazy set pieces, where everything goes on, but there's also a lot of exploration and puzzle solving. The grappling hook adds a fun twist to winning combat, and it gives you more ways to approach situations.
I see you. Your guard is pretty solid.
That's the way it's possible. Every scene feels like a spiritual piece.
I'm watching you.
Sneaking around, taking down enemies, and crafting things on the go, but everything just feels a bit more fluid. The enemy AI is also much spotted it. What really stands out is how emotionally heavy it still hits, maybe even harder this time. It's like revisiting a deep love, but now you're noticing all these little extra details that make it even more heartbreaking. That bond between Joel and Ellie is somehow even more powerful with the added realism. Honestly, if you want to love the zombie game, then Last of Us is perhaps the best. Maybe Dawn is That's why Last of Us Remake is the best choice for anyone who wants to experience the great story that makes the game zombie. Ghost of Tsushima. This is one of those games that feels like an epic
In accordance with the Emperor's will, we've occupied Zepho, redistributed its inhabitants. This planet has failed to yield significant data or relics for Project Augur. Its electromagnetic winds have rendered the bulk of our mining technology useless. Meanwhile, more stormtroopers lose their lives to dangerous fauna. We will not be able to fulfill our directive here. It is my recommendation that we disband the project and leave a token outpost to keep scavengers from stealing our technology.
Before I reveal my final text, here's an honorable mention to DC Odyssey. Now, wait a minute. Before you say anything, know that I'm not just referring to Odyssey. I just think that it's the most appropriate one. If you love the other parts, then you can definitely go with them. However, one thing is for sure that some of us need to use an Assassin's Creed game. Maybe for some players of Black Flag, for some it could be the new open world titles. Despite all this, AC series is the most iconic series of all time. Therefore, it would be a crime not to play even a single Assassin's Creed game with your style.
Enemy contact!
Engaging story.
Just need one clean hit. End him! Jedi's weak! Take him out! Are you sure he's dead?
Our next bonus game is Marvel Spider-Man. The reason I'm including this game is because Spidey has been one of our favorite superheroes. We love the guy since our childhood. In over the years, we've had a lot of games, but the 2018 is definitely the best one as everything has been updated, whether it be the entire New York City or the cinematic visual cutscene. The gameplay is smooth as well. Web swinging feels incredible. Just for the sake of nostalgia and how iconic Spidey is, I think it's no doubt we must own at least one Spider-Man game. You guys can go for the other module, but I just love the 2018 release.
You'll let your guard down soon. Impossible.
Found you, intruder.
The mix of awesome action with stealth while wrapped up in a suspenseful burrito makes the game a masterpiece. The remake adds a few changes to the stage. I'd say it's the perfect example of how remakes should be made. actually is more bearable this time. Making the game work that's easier. The game is also smooth, which makes the playthrough last from start to finish. Final Fantasy VII Remake. As someone who's played it, the first thing that hits you is how stunning everything looks. The graphics are top tier, especially in those cutscenes where you can just sit back and soak in the atmosphere. Cloud, Tifa, Barret, even though I'm not big on turn-based systems, the remake does
Stay on you.
Even if you're familiar with the original, it's
Toss me a stem beat once.
expected perfections, they'll still deliver those key emotional moments. Sephiroth is the most iconic villain of all time. Even if you're not a fan of the series, you must know about Cloud and Sapphire.
Look out!
They've remastered all the classic tracks.
Someone else get in here. Jedi hit. How did you kill them all?
Alright, this finishes our list of each of these
Hey
games.
now. Something we can use.
There are touching storylines.
In Japan, the gaming industry was However, that is not entirely correct, as the sponsor Nintendo's dominance as this will be quite important.
Cal, the Empire's pinpoint to the location. You need to move fast.
On it. Thanks.
Great success in Japan. More successful products followed, and just 2 years later, Ibuka and Morita made the decision to expand and distribute their products worldwide. To achieve this, a new name was needed, something that wouldn't be a tongue twister for the rest of the world. Thus, Tokyo Tsushin Kyogo became Sony in 1957, and global distribution proved to be another success factor. In 1959, the first of these fateful moments I mentioned in the intro was to occur, which would contribute to the success of PlayStation, even though it was not yet on the agenda. In that year, Sony hired the young Norio Oga. The then 29-year-old had a great passion for music and criticized the quality of Sony's cassette recorders at that time. His technical and musical knowledge caught the attention of Ibuka and Morita, leading them to hire him as a technical advisor who would climb the career ladder faster in the following years than anyone else in the company. We will discuss why Oga's appearance is important later, but remember his name. In the 1960s, Sony grew into a global market leader and earned a significant amount of money through the production of radios, televisions, and other electronic products. The specialization in multimedia products was the driving factor for success, which attracted more and more talent to Sony. In the mid-1970s, a young technician named Kenny Ferranti applied to Sony and was allowed to start his work at the company in 1975. He worked on early LCD panels and digital cameras, among other things, but that is not the work for which he would become known. Before the 70s ended, Sony released a product with the Walkman that would revolutionize the industry in a way that rarely happened. Suddenly, it became possible to take your favorite song anywhere, a revolution that made Sony even more popular, especially with mobile. In the same year, Sony entered into a collaboration with Sony to take the medium of work on a stage
Right there!
player
Move up already! I'll try to I missed him! Win!
which excited Japanese and took video games to the next level. At the same time, Ken Kutaragi also recognized the potential of the medium and watched his daughter play with Nintendo's Famicom.
Hey now.
What is it? The FPC701 sound chip emerged, which ensured that Nintendo's next-gen console was miles ahead of the competition from Sega in terms of audio quality. However, the development of the sound chip was not without risks for Kutaragi. Since those responsible at Sony did not want to know anything about the video game industry, Kutaragi secretly developed the sound chip for Nintendo. When his work with the officials leaked, they despite themselves and even demanded his dismissal. Only Norio Oga, who was already the CEO of Sony in 1989, kept a clear head and was even able to understand the potential that Kutaragi saw in the development of such a chip. Norio Oga made a decisive statement, silenced the Sony executive, and gave Kutaragi the green light to finish developing the sound chip. At the same time, Sony launched its subsidiary Sony ImageSoft in the USA, which was tasked with distributing games on the NES and later also on the SNES. It was an early attempt to gain initial experience in business, which was chaos with Paulson at the helm, but more on that later. Without Oga's intuition and foresight, which he demonstrated at that time, there may never have been other collaborations. He was not connected to gaming business. Physical gameplay may be preserved to short subjective and and who knows if Sony would have wanted that, as he was one of the best engineers in the company at the time.
I found something.
What do they know?
No mention of Kuroga. I don't think the Empire knows he's been here.
Then we have the advantage. For now.
The chip was fully developed with a super Famicom was played by physics and found out. Kutaragi took a step further and proposed a new collaboration to Nintendo. This add-on. The agreement was made with Nintendo at the time, not only manufactured by Sony, which connected the cartridge slot of the Super Famicom with the disc drive, allowing buyers to use both types of media from the outset. At the same time, Sony was working on a dedicated disc format that was to be used with the hybrid console as well as the add-on. hybrid system of technology in Los Angeles in 1991.
That's interesting. We're on the right track.
The basis for the collaboration between Nintendo and Sony was a contractual agreement regarding the licensing and use of rights in this format, which increasingly caused discontent at Nintendo and would be the reason that everything preceding it would collapse like a house of cards. The contract guaranteed Sony 100% of all revenue that would have been generated from the sale and licensing of this content. Nintendo's share would continue to relate to the licensing and sale of game cartridges, which Hiroshi Yamauchi considered insufficient. In his eyes, Sony was given too much power, as they had no knowledge of the video game business being an electronics company. He saw a danger for Nintendo, as Sony insisted on equipping both the add-on and the PlayStation with the capability to play video and music content through the Super Disc format. That would be another source of revenue that one would have to attribute to Sony, but did not want to. This kind of enrichment, at least in the eyes of Hiroshi Yamauchi, and the resulting distribution of rights were a thorn in the side of the Nintendo CEO. Even with the sound chip of the Super Famicom, Sony had already made a negative impression on him, as third-party studios had to exclusively purchase
Storm up ahead.
sound chip.
Something about it crippled the Empire's equipment. I can feel something pulling me there, beyond the storm.
Follow it. Let the force sharpen your instincts.
All right.
And he said to contract with Sony. And as if that weren't already absolutely unfair and lacking in partnership, he made the decision just before the CES without informing Sony. Instead, he sent his son-in-law, Minoru Arakawa, who was then the CEO of Nintendo of America, along with his vice president Howard Lincoln, to the Netherlands to negotiate a better deal and to bring add-ons for the Super Famicom to market. As mentioned, Sony was completely unaware of this. When the summer CES began on June 4th, 1991, fans and the press speculated about the promising collaboration between Nintendo and Sony, while many and the press conferences were held on June 2nd, 1991. They asked as well as the PlayStation earlier, Sony had proudly presented the PlayStation and the Apple, and now they were dismissing it for a scandal. What reached the public after this scandal was a big discussion between Nintendo and Sony.
Little help.
Using consoles. During the discussion, several prototypes were created, which were subsequently destroyed by Sony stock. During the for a lot of money and remained unknown. But in any case, by the end of 91, Sony tried to salvage the deal without success.
Moving out. Huh. Another one of these. Wonder if they connect.
Nintendo's competition. After the setback with Nintendo, the two made a publishing deal to release various games on Japan. Sony had envisioned. Nintendo, Sega also rejected Sony's engineers, arguing that Sony had no understanding of the industry and that their technology was not feasible. Sony was simply too experienced, and they did not want to take any economic risk. When the talks with Sega ended, the month of May had already arrived. The PlayStation project had been on hold for almost a whole year. Surely, why not need a meeting to decide on the future of the project? It's surprising that Sony...
Can I get some help? Close one.
Their board members now public humiliation by Nintendo and the rejection by Sega. Nintendo had advanced prototype that had once again been developed in secret and once more, the writer of the this unification project was greenlighted, much to the dismay of many decision makers. As a result, so the argument team of the argument is that a subsidiary of Sony has been led by Laureate Williams,
Never seen a storm do that before. Yeah, it's incredible.
I believe this to be the earliest settler site we've uncovered yet, despite my reservations. I cannot chase the Gano fault from my mind. Its vision shapes the direction of an entire culture. I must understand why.
In 1993, a year that would be extremely important for the success of the PlayStation began for Sony. However, initially they faced challenges. Although the development of the hardware was still operating behind the scenes, Sony was purely an electronics company and not again developing aspects, which started to deal with publishers during the launch of the development. There was a lack of internal development teams that was on the
I'm in the tube. It's massive.
And the Empire?
No sign of them down here.
What about Cordova?
Still not sure who I'm supposed to find. He's a little...
Eccentric? Tell me about it. But he wouldn't send us here for news. Keep it away.
teams that slowly visited hundreds of Japanese game developers, attempting to clean up the success. 150 studios that were dissatisfied with the licensing and publishing policies of Nintendo and Sega, like Konami, Square, and Namco, and the development of one of the features on the following path.
You see that? Ugh.
And with the PlayStation, Namco felt capable of taking on Sega in the console sector without having to provide its own hardware. This went so far that Namco's head of the research department had several times attempted providing throughout the year the hardware specifications of the PlayStation. At this point, no final decision had been made on whether Sony should develop true three-dimensional polygon graphics with the PlayStation or whether they should create a system based on 3D sprites, similar to the successful Super Nintendo, which dominated the global charts. As a small test project, the collaboration resulted in an answer system that art, and hardware. Graphic art informed by the Virtual Fighter could not have been shown to the hype was perfect. At the end of the year, Sony was making further preparations for the launch of the PlayStation in the coming year. The new company was unified all of Sony's departments that dealt with video games. At the same time, the first PlayStation development kits were created to be delivered to developer studios. These were based on stories of crime restrictions, making them expensive and quite complicated to handle. It was particularly a thorn in the side of Ian Hetherington and his team at Psygnosis. The success of the system depended on how software formed. Psygnosis once again got involved in development and asked the British company SN Systems to produce development kits. SN Systems, which already had experience. And the first daily PlayStation dev kits completed by the end of December. These were cheaper and significantly more flexible than capabilities, which Sony soon realized for itself. The CES opened its doors in January '94. Psygnosis packed up SN Systems and dev kits and prevented business of Sony and CES behind closed doors. Slightest dropped their own evidence-based dev kit and immediately ordered 600 units from SN Systems for delivery. Launch development. As a result, Sony gained much more interest in Western countries at the CES. Jumped on the PlayStation bandwagon and pledged their support. A long-term partnership developed between SN Systems and Sony, which also used the development kits for the PlayStation 2 before Sony acquired the British company in 2005. That showed excitement. After the CES, preparations for the PlayStation launch were in full swing at Sony. It became quiet until the magazine's Computer Gaming World published an article at the end of March that picked up on a rumor. It was stated there that the system released at the end of the year and was expected to cost $400. In response to this rumor, which circulated worldwide in the following weeks, Sony held a meeting on May 10th. In 1994, a press conference was held that dealt in detail with the PlayStation